Resolute Exposure is a social media platform. Almost all content on Resolute Exposure is created by citizen journalists. I share content created by citizen journalists who I believe to be the best at finding facts buried deep into the abyss, or outlets who I believe to be best for verifiable information. We have to operate within their system, and we only have the information that they allow us to have. These citizen journalists who nerd out on fact-finding missions and then add their opinion to better inform me to make the best choice for me in this war of narratives is Resolute. This information war is a battle for your mind and ultimately compliance. While mainstream media dismisses social platforms as mere echo chambers for fake news, independent spaces like this prove that shared content and live dialogue actually foster deeper critical thinking. So, I am excited to share the content in hopes you'll turn off mainstream media, who I believe is just a version of entertainment. So again, welcome to Resolute Exposure.
There are many people in the world who really don't understand. Freedom has many difficulties, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in. Freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
Modern war has become a struggle for men's minds as well as for their bodies. Today we face an enemy who spends enormous sums of money and manpower all over the globe in an attempt to subvert the thinking of the people of the free world, to confuse, divide, and ultimately to subjugate.
It is a contest unlike any we have ever faced in our history as a nation.
Contest for the minds and hearts of people around the world, all people.
When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth.
Psychologists find that control of emotions can be gained by understanding the stimulus-response pattern. Many everyday things become associated with these primary stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning.
It's a strange, shadowy world. The doctored photograph, the misquotation, the insinuation, and the lie.
I think of fire in connection with emotion. Cause, effect.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
So we have to work together. You have to help.
We'll light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world.
Yes, in modern warfare, our military leaders are finding that words and ideas are highly effective weapons.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, producers, or any affiliated organization. This podcast may include sensitive discussion related to topics such as child protection, abuse, and criminal behavior. The content is intended for informational, educational, and awareness purposes only does not constitute legal, medical, or professional advice. Any reference to individuals, cases, or events are based on personal perspective, professional experience, or publicly available information and should not be interpreted as statements of fact regarding any specific person or situation. The host, speakers, and producers disclaim any liability for actions taken by listeners based on the content of this podcast. Listeners are encouraged to seek qualified professional guidance for their specific circumstances. Listeners' discretion is advised. All individuals are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. Oh, look at that. Well, guys, welcome to Tuesday nights, Blount County Breakdown. New time, 8 o'clock, and it's an hour earlier. And Robert's trying to get in. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties, but hey, man, how's everybody going? How is everybody doing?
Doing well. Go ahead, Jason.
Oh, I just said I'm high on life.
You're high.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're allowed to wake up again, right?
Sure, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we're not in prison just yet.
It's funny. You look like you're hanging out in an undisclosed location. It's weird. Why is this doing that way?
Because I am.
Our screens are different. I don't know if Rumble updated it because now you can see the whole room where before you could only see like parts like right there. See?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
All right. We got Scrappy in the house. Kim's in the house. Welcome everybody else. Got some viewers on Facebook. Lots on Rumble. Looks like one or two on YouTube. Anyway, hopefully Robert gets it figured out. He was fine just a minute ago. I don't know what happened.
I miss Robert being on the show. Him and his computer tower. He's overloaded his system, evidently, huh?
Well, last week he was fine when we did the show Blount County Breakdown. So anyway, we talked a lot last week about catching up on all the stuff that was going on because it felt like he was on a 3-week vacation there. And so we kind of caught up everything that was going on with the commission and all that. And then, of course, we all know what happened last Thursday night. So I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the topic of discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I was scrolling through. I just finished mowing, and I was scrolling through just a minute ago. And, it's unfortunate what has driven all the viewership. But I saw that you basically have a viral video going on there with Tom's release on the commission and the coward Brian Daniels. I see that it's getting a lot of views. That's great that it's finally getting views, but man, what an unfortunate situation that's generating those views.
So you're talking about the one where it asked about the urgency? It's the old thing that I made with Brian Daniels.
No, this is the one with Tom. What's his name?
Robin.
It wasn't the last week commission, but the commission before where he went scorched earth on him. Yeah. Hey, that was something to see in person. I thought it was going to come down to a little bit of physical entertainment. It was looking good. So, but anyways, I hate that family and so many families are having to deal with, having that dark cloud over their shoulders. It's amazing how they can just willy-nilly remove folks from their home, take their property. This crime syndicate has it's a runaway train, and it's high time that it be stopped. And I'm glad that this stuff is getting some exposure and strong a strong resentment. Finally.
So I went through the whole thing, 3 hours and 40 minutes of it. It probably took me 6 hours. There were 21 people that stood up for Agenda 3 and 4. And at 3 minutes each, that's over an hour. people standing up there. Now, the first lady, we couldn't record her because her part of her 3-minute statement was messed up. Like, I don't know if it was a recording issue at the time or whatever, but then from the second person all the way through the end of the meeting, there was no more trouble. So I recorded those 20, and then I went back and recorded the one where Tom was in it the week prior. And so the one where they talk urgency to Brian Daniels, the one in the two that are with Tom Ross, some of them are over 50,000 views.
Yeah.
Never had that before. Never had that before. And here's the other thing. There were 21 videos altogether on 9 different groups. So that's over 180 times. And so the next thing that happened, which I wasn't expecting, was the followers went up, and all of a sudden I got hundreds of friend requests because it seems like everybody in the county saw a piece or a portion, of one or all of those 3-minute reels that went out from everybody's discussing. Isn't that a shame? We talked about showing up for meetings. Of course, I have failed to be at meetings based on the fact that my job has got us in overtime. But beyond that, we talk about being present at meetings, speaking your voice, but it's apparent that these voices are not heard. There was 21 of them on Agenda 3 and Agenda 4, all of which were they were all good in their own individuality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Expression in all different districts, so it wasn't like it was coming from just one certain district. You know what I mean? And so and when you watch them, some people in the commission, they act like they're paying attention, and they might be. I won't say act. Some are that they're not paying attention to what's going on. They're looking up at the ceiling, or whatever's got their attention. They give off the vibe that maybe that hopefully they'll quit coming up to the podium and and talking so that they can move on with the agenda. And so for an hour and 3 or an hour and 6 minutes, people voiced their opinion, and then they went into deliberation. Did you see any of that, Jason?
I saw several of the ones you shared.
Yeah.
Akerd and that other crotchety old man.
That's at the end there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Frank.
Yeah, French. So, and that's another thing. They last week we talked about how I have the opinion that these business discussions are being discussed not in public spaces, and I got a little bit of backlash for it because I didn't have so-called evidence, right? So I did make mention that maybe if we talk about it, then they'll get up there and do their job in a different manner. Maybe this will push that to be more on top of what they call the debate aspect of this agenda. So they spent probably 45 minutes talking back and forth, asking questions. When I say they, not all 21, probably 7 of them spoke, I guess, or asked different questions about what was going on. I'm not sure I'm not sure any of them asked the questions exactly that I might have asked, you know what I mean? Or given the opportunity to, hey, here's a request for a question that, would you ask this on my behalf because, you're in my district, that kind of thing. And so, and again, what was it? 14-7 and 19-2 or something like that, So even with that, the 35 to 45 minutes worth of, deliberation there, you know what I mean? It still came to, a pass, you know what I mean? And so we passed 5 million for the, there's Robert. Hey, brother.
They've already proven it don't matter who votes. I mean, who wants what? Whatever they want. It's just what's getting voted for.
So even after all that deliberation and they went before it, was it Ron made his opinion, which I recorded. It was like almost 4 minutes and something long. Talks about, look, I love my family and my children and my future grandchildren and that kind of stuff. But being in a oh look, I think somebody flipped Matt's car. he's in an undisclosed. Somebody figure out where he's at. He's in an undisclosed location. Somebody flipped
I thought he'd been attacked.
But he went on to talk about it didn't matter. He was thinking 50 years. He said he couldn't was it the future? He couldn't see the future. But anyway, he was making this decision, which is my district, the one that the Parkway's coming through. And he said, based on that, he on his personal opinion, he was voting yes for it when he ignored all of his voting.
That's making me seasick.
Is that making you seasick? We're gonna have to get Matt flipped over the right way. Ain't
it? I'm just kidding.
Sorry. I've got this iPad.
Look like he's in a fight.
Yeah. It's an accurate depiction of my life. All right, here we go. Sorry, I apologize.
No, you're fine. It's funny. It's sort of comical. It kind of breaks the monotony up there for a minute. Robert's back. He's looking good now. So
yeah, welcome back, Robert.
I forgot to restart my computer before I done all this.
I think he had to slap it a time or two. You know what I mean? And we condone no violence. Okay, so
it's just like me, an old temperamental fucker.
Scrappy Dog says somebody needs to teach French how to read a map. South Knoxville is northwest of Townsend, and the Parkway will dump even more traffic on Burnett Station from Alcoa Highway to South Knoxville. And Kim says the siding looks like lights. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it did kind of look like lights. Yeah,
there were several comments saying that didn't make no sense what he said about Burnett Station. I don't know.
Absolutely, it doesn't make sense.
Keith G. Dunway wants to know if he's driving down the Bumpy County Road, Matt.
Good one.
But I will tell you again. So Rumble must have did something because we can see our full screens now. Where before they were just so on the 4-person thing. Do you see that? I can't control that landscape or what's the other word for it, but anyway. And
portrait.
Jason, portrait.
My door ain't never been in the picture.
Mine ain't either.
Do you see the comments on the side now, Jason? Does your laptop give you enough of a view where you can see the live chat?
Yeah.
And then down there it should say message underneath the live chat, and you can type in there and then hit enter and talk to whoever's in the live chat. So
I don't have that on my end. I
don't have that on mine.
That.
Oh, you can't type in there?
No, I've always had to pull up our live on another screen and type from there like I'm viewing.
All right, how about this? See if you can do that now. And I can't do nothing for Matt. He just is what he is. I made you guys moderator. Did that change anything?
No, not as far as messaging.
That's wild.
No.
Okay.
So is it so? Can you see are you still seeing like the siding of the building next to me and all that kind of stuff?
Well, yeah, we can see most of the back ceiling of your vehicle and then part of a window and siding and facial and soffit. Hey, that's a great background.
Careful, just be honest with you. I'm not. I have a T-shirt on, and we'll leave it at that. And so, I'm just taking care of business. I had to hurry and jump on here, so I want to make sure the camera wasn't picking up anything too crazy.
So, go back to Ron French again. Based on the fact that he made a decision on a personal opinion, versus his constituents. And again, I live in his district, so. He didn't vote for what his constituents wanted. I can tell you that. What do you guys think? Hey, look, Jeffrey Whitehead's in the chat.
Yeah, no, he didn't. His whole speech was telling everybody how he didn't care what they thought, and he was going to do that for his grandkids.
His grandkids, yeah.
Yeah. And that being said, Yes, that's my district too, at district as well. But just with what Robert just now said as well. Okay, well, thanks for looking out for the grandkids. You also just now hung a big tab out there for them in the way of more taxes. You know, I mean, they just keep adding to the pile of burden in the form of taxes for us. You know, it just throw millions at this, throw millions at that, throw millions at this.
While you're
talking, go ahead.
While you're talking, you go first. You finish.
And they have no regard for what the county citizens are saying. I mean, that room was 100% against that, and there was what is full capacity. I don't know what the capacity load is in that room, but I dare say it was it's 150, 160.
I know there were people waiting out in the hallway that they wouldn't let go in until some room cleared out for them.
Yeah.
So that's how packed it was.
Yeah, and they still that panel still did what they did. No regard for the citizens, no regard for the fact that they're going to go ahead and burden the taxpayers that are already living on fixed incomes. You know, there again, whenever I think about taxes and the projects and whatnot, I always think about the new young families and then the older citizens that have already paid their dues, that are on fixed incomes, that you know, they're not going to be attending high school football games, or turf football fields. They're not going to be necessarily traveling on this new extension and everything. It's a runaway train. It's frustrating.
So when you're talking about taxes, anything that involves taxpayers' money, I always ask, what is the benefit to the taxpayers?
Mm-hmm.
Just like with what what this conversation will lead to the rest of the meeting. How does spending taxpayer money benefit the taxpayer?
Right. Yeah. And it's just become all too telling that they've all posseed up, with the exception of a few, and it makes it this is the exact kind of stuff that makes you lose trust in your representation of your elected officials. Whenever you have the masses speaking against something and they still go right ahead and vote it through. Mm-hmm. Come on. It makes you want to dig in deeper to find out just exactly why they're going ahead and voting stuff there,
So Jeff says, don't forget that they already overtaxed us by $7 million last year alone. And he did some research. Hopefully we can get him to come on the show. He does a fantastic job with numbers. He's a numbers guy, you know what I mean? So maybe we can get him on there. And then Frankie, he says that he's not sure what the capacity of room 430 at the courthouse is, but he heard that the nice police officers telling them we got to hit the see more. If there was not a seat for him, they could not come in. He does know that much. And also, Frankie, in his 3-minute thing, he made it very clear that they represent us so that we don't have to be at these meetings every week to basically to be a watchdog. I mean, it's exactly what Robert's name is, to make sure that we're, the checks and balances. Don't get me wrong, we shouldn't, go prolong that kind of stuff. We should pay attention to what's going on, but he was absolutely correct in what he said, that it's ridiculous, and the times that are set, it interferes with people and their families and people that got jobs like me and stuff like that, like Robert even, or all of us. I shouldn't just put it down to one individual, you know what I mean? So and then
everybody, look here, it's not like the whole county has time to come out there once a week for all the different meetings, and we seen this last meeting dragged on till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
if I was a dirty person, I would say get 50 people to go to this last county commission meeting and speak for their 3 minutes, or just stand up there and don't speak.
Like how Tom finished his.
Yeah, stay in there, keep them in there till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and see how they like that. There's two different ways to play this game, and it can be played by the rules.
Yeah.
That is true.
And that being said,
go ahead.
I watched a video of a guy saying that's how you make them earn their money, is everybody gets up there and uses their 3 minutes for whatever, and you make them stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can even do it twice. You can speak on what's on the agenda.
That's right.
And then you can speak on Disney World if that's what you want to speak on.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Well,
and you know what? Wait, just one. You know how people say they don't want to vote because their vote don't count. Well, with the commission, Blount County Commission, your vote don't count. Your opinion don't count. Nothing counts. I don't know what you got to do.
Yeah, so somebody's vote counted, but yeah, we can be definite on the voice don't count.
I would say if we took a map of the districts, so just to be fair, this whole Pellissippi thing is not just, it's probably 50-50 on how people feel about it. Would you guys agree to that? Maybe.
Yes, and even that was one thing. Even the commissioners and Ed Mitchell kind of construed the way they spoke. They acted like this vote was for whether we was getting it or not.
Right.
Like we've talked about, it's a done deal. It is coming whether we want it or not.
That's
that vote was specifically for $5 million in taxpayers' money, and just like that one commissioner said, or maybe it was a speaker that said it's insane to take taxpayer money and then buy other taxpayers' property with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was a TDOT project from the get-go that they said they was going to fully fund. Let them do that. Fully fund means right-of-way acquisition.
Yep.
That's part of fully funding.
Yep.
Yep. So now it's time to watch and see what really happens with that $5 million. And if there are any purchases made, which purchases are they?
Right. And who
are they purchases owned by people that's living on that property?
Right.
Or are they purchases that's already been purchased years ago by other entities looking to make money?
Developers or something like that, you know what I mean? Because once that thing gets done, it's going to be rezoned not for residential anymore, to be industrial or commercial or something, because of all of those interchanges that are going to come off on certain areas there. They're going to have a gas station or something like that, and then you got Amazon down the road, so all that industrial infrastructure is all right there coming through Rockford. So so somebody's definitely going to make a pretty penny. But I will say Jeffrey Whitehead said he's got a link in the comments to his FB. It says his Facebook post for tax cut plan, and so if anybody is interested in looking at that, but
I have to check that out.
Yeah, but exactly, this thing's coming through anyway, and so. But back to what I was trying to say, because I forgot, was the districts. If we was to take the whole county in the districts that are closest to the center of the city, Alcoa, Maryville City, and that come out, I don't know who's all in what district area that is, those people right there, because they get the most of the congestion of all the traffic that's coming through, that's getting funneled out, whether it's down 321 or, or headed out towards 411, whatever the case may be, 129, however all that works out. I would say they have probably said for a long time that they want the Pellissippi Parkway extension to relieve some of the traffic that's coming through the areas in which they live. And so whoever's districts that those belong into right there, I could see why they would vote yes on theirs. But the other districts all around in that they should all be voting no. So what we should have is we should have the cities going, I can't get the county to listen, because the county constituents are saying we don't want this Pellissippi Parkway extension. We don't want TDOT involved, whatever the case may be. But that's
we
not
don't want to pay the money.
We don't want to pay the money. True. But what we got is we got the county, all except for a couple, commissioners that are all voting yes for the same thing that's really happening inside the city limits. You know what I mean? So those commissioners, I don't know, is there 3 different commissioners, seat A and B, that sort of funnel through the cities there? And anyway, whoever those are, I don't have their names and the district maps up or whatever. I would say they probably have a legitimate gripe by saying that, their constituents want that vote to say yes. You know what I mean? Just me talking out loud.
The people that are
good.
The people that are losing their houses, how do they pay them? Do they pay them based on what?
Market value.
Is it going to be the same market value they do the tax appraisals by?
I don't know.
Right.
Market value is market value.
I wondered if they know where that's going, and I wonder if those houses that are all down through there that they know are going to take, I wonder if they appraised for as high as everybody else's did. I know that's conspiracy theories, seriously, but I don't put it past them.
Or even higher. You want it appraised higher if you want to make a buck when it comes to the right-of-way acquisition.
So Terry Burke says state highways, the state pays plain and simple. Just look at Topside, North Shore, Westland in the last 20 years.
Right. That's why I said we need to watch where that $5 million goes.
Right.
That $5 million needs to be publicly accounted for. Every time there's a penny of it spent, hey, this is on our website. This is where it's going.
Yeah. In a perfect world.
Yeah, right.
In an ethical and moral world, sure enough.
There you go.
They're going to need 1/5 of it to pay the commissioners now.
It's so Bunker Buster 0118 says it isn't even a silver bullet for what they claim is a pressure relief valve for traffic. It is only an issue when people are going home and from work, and it was supposedly for traffic towards the Smokies and Townsend. How much is there really? Is it not that much of an issue now? Jeff, is it Joplin? Is that his name?
Yes.
He's also my commissioner, but he's up in Townsend. And I didn't get a chance, and I probably should have recorded it and put it out there too. But his opinion was he's voting no, I think is what he said, based on the fact that they don't have those traffic issues and they don't want those traffic issues, that kind of thing. And right. And then when we talk about fair market value, the fair market value is whatever it is right now or whatever they claim it to be. And like Robert said with the taxes, but what's it going to be worth once it's been rezoned for something else? It's probably going to be worth 5 or 10 times more than that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Jeff says they'll not get fair value. Charlie Hall, who's in Von Orr, got his business and land stolen. And then they gave him pennies for it. And then Dunaway says, I live in Maryville off Montvale Station, and he's been here since 14. And it's ridiculous, the cars that are on the road. Pearson Spring Park is his backyard, and they can't hardly walk and ride bikes for traffic. So it's obviously they cannot sit there and deny that this was something that their districts wanted.
Yeah.
But
the other point too is we have the studies that says what they're claiming traffic relief is going to be short-lived. And the county likes their studies now.
It's moving one pile of dog shit from this side of the yard to this side of the yard.
Right.
It is. You build that, and 2 years down the road, you're right back to where you was. Only now you got another new road that's also packed. Just like when you're trying to get off of Pellissippi at Topside in the afternoon, and it's back down a half a mile to a mile in the emergency lane, and people are smashing into the back of each other because they can't get over quick enough. Because now the exit ramp is a mile down the road, and it's at a dead stop.
Well, see,
Hey, all
I
these
think
municipalities have compromised our public safety.
I think that somebody should write an email to that Matthew Snow write-in candidate to let him know what the hell's going on right there, Robert. What do you think?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Anybody got his email address?
Anybody got his, I don't know. I saw his video the other day where he had this little AI thing, backhoe and dump truck, and he was kind of doing all kinds of neat little things. Reminded me of Bob the Builder. That we could do it.
That's right. That's right.
We can build it.
We can build it. So.
Yeah.
So that traffic study you're talking about, that Calderwood there, 129 and 411. The big guy from TDOT that did the study said it was already almost at 90%, and once those developments go in, it's already going to put it at its peak. You know what I mean? And so these studies that say that things are at 90% or nearly 90% or close to it, that should be a red flag of saying maybe we need to re-look at the whole infrastructure right here before we decide to put another 526 development cluster development in there. You know what I mean? And I found out. Go ahead.
And what about the rest of the infrastructure? So
right.
if it's at capacity at the roads, then you got to look at electric, water, sewer. Where's that stuff sitting at now?
Like I said, the school, William Blount, all them houses,
right,
get put in there. Can the school absorb all them kids?
And what about safety, Matt?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say just a minute ago. That all these municipalities involved are compromising public safety. To Robert's point, I come through there quite often, right there at Topside, headed to Maryville, and both at Topside and at Alcoa Highway, you have cars lined up on the shoulder of the road, and of course you have people that have to rush up and try to find a little crack to jump in. So then everybody else is having to slam on their brakes, and it's just pandemonium. But
it is.
Yeah, it's dead. It is deadly.
It is deadly. Yes.
And that being said, along the safety thing, I have been getting inundated with messages, private messages, and just comments on my posts and whatnot of all these. There for a while, I was able to keep up with going out and meeting requests. Hey, will you come out and look at this and tell me what you think and yada yada. Well, now it's got to the point. I'm one person. My campaign is two people, me and my treasurer. And like I told him, I said, I just need a name. We're not spending any money, so there's not going to be any work. So that being said, I mean, just today I got about 6 private messages with pictures included of, road signs. Those aren't important. Road signs that are overgrown with grass and weeds and everything else. Stop signs, just all of the directionals that guides traffic is being swallowed up by where they're not taking care of things. But on top of that, with these studies, the density studies along the lines of public safety, they should know. They should have done the right thing years ago and been like, hey, we can't do this. We're going to have to throttle it up and down as need be. But they're still full on marketing Blount County. Come to Blount County, come to East Tennessee. We have all this stuff. And it's just further stepping on our heads and increasing the negligence of public safety in our communities and in our county as a whole. And why I am left at the point right now of they know for some reason why they're holding off on taking care of all this stuff. It's just become all too obvious. I mean, but why is where I'm at with it. Whenever there's outcries publicly and people are telling me that they've called the highway department, gotten no reply and everything else, just since we've been sitting here, I received a text message of with 2 screenshots where in Seymour Speaks Out, people are saying, hey, Blount County Highway Department, don't forget that we're Blount County over here too. And and then in the threads, just all the comments of these people expressing their frustrations and how they have tried to reach out and how there's this is frustrating to know that they're taking people's land and buying up right of ways, all while not taking care of the right of ways is bumfuzzling, And so, what are our taxes going to? What it? Okay, if the tractors and mowers are not being used and the personnel is not being used, well, where is that money going? Are they trying to bankroll it for some reason?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I know
Go ahead, Jason.
when people was running for commission, the Blount County Road people was interested about where mine and Jerry's signs were, and they made sure to mow them down when they saw them.
So
now I don't know what they're doing. Those signs are gone.
But Jason, just a minute ago, one other thing, talking about the density, Jason mentioned just a minute ago about William Blount. I've said for a while now, even before I decided to throw my hat in the ring, I have not heard any discussion. Matter of fact, I think Jason's might be the first one that I've heard someone bring it up. I have not heard any discussion with any type of, hey, when are we going to start worrying about funding to build new schools, build new hospitals, hire more police officers, hire more firefighters, all of that type of infrastructure? Because guess what? It's all overloaded and overburdened right now. What are we going to do? Are we going to go back to the early 2000s where we had kids going out into their portals? I'm sorry, not portals, portables. They literally moved in over here at Porter. They literally moved in basically a mobile home and was holding classes in it. Come on, Blount County. Come on.
Eagleton used to be like it.
Yeah. Is that what they're going to do again? Because our schools, from what I gather, our schools are busting at the seams. Well, guess what? That translates right over to the hospitals. There's not been any more hospitals built since this huge influx. There's not even been any talk about it. But I'll almost guarantee you this: with our sheriff that's been in there for 37 years, I'll guarantee you, with this influx of population, he'll get money for a new jail before we will schools and hospitals.
That's possible. I was going to say the only infrastructure that's ready for overgrowth is the sheriff's department. So, look, but let's talk about Brian Daniels for a second. He had the opportunity when he was asked some questions, and again, they know the questions that are going to be asked. I'm not saying that they rehearse these things. I'm just saying they're not dumb to what's going to be asked during the thing. And he talked about the urgency. The reason why was they needed that $8 million to add to the intergovernmental pot there to purchase the property, was because that there were other buyers that were interested in that property. And so looking through public records, none of that was real, because according to the way I understand it, as long as the governing bodies were in negotiations with him about that piece of land. And when I say with him, I'm talking about Oblinger, the CEO of Alcoa Philadelphia, Alcoa Inc., whatever little fancy name that they try to put on it, because when you go digging for it, you got to go this name and that name. But in the end, the one name that pops up the most is the CEO, Oblinger. So as long as they were in negotiations with that piece of property didn't have a so-called urgency to hurry up and get sold. And so, Robert, was I right or wrong when I said that the brownfield thing, it protects them from any type of contamination?
Brown.
So, because I thought you and I were talking earlier.
From
Go ahead.
From how they explained it, the Brownfield Agreement says if anything dangerous is ever found, then no one is liable for it. So each party involved, from the seller to the buyer to in between, nobody's liable for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ain't that something? And it's amazing that the EPA had that reserved as a Superfund site, and all of a sudden, just in recent years, they've deemed it for without getting into all the technical legal terms, they've deemed it safe again, just like that.
They can't do residential on it. It's a heavy, I forget the exact word. It's for industrial use.
Yeah, heavy industrial. Yeah. But at the same time, you're still going to disturb that atmosphere.
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
Environment.
And then Daryl Monday said he never cast a vote because he saw a sign in the yard, Matt. I will say this: I saw your sign the other morning, bright and early, on my way into work. Man, it was out there by the house. Man, that thing was bright.
Which one?
The one that says right in. Oh, is on. Where you go around Porter. That way.
Yeah. Over. Yeah. At night, it's bright.
Well, at 5 o'clock in the morning, it sure is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I went and picked up another one today.
Is that somewhere close to Burnett Station Road?
It's not far from Burnett. If I hit Nails Creek, I'm right there at Burnett Station, sure enough.
Well, that's a new major highway according to French.
Right.
And
he's got to get that PPE in so that his grandkids don't have to drive on that road. You know what I mean? So
check
Burnett
this out.
Doomed.
It's doomed.
Check this out. Ron French has been in that position how long?
I don't like 37 years, maybe. I don't know.
a bunch, yeah. Well, guess what? If he would have been doing the job the way he should have been doing and voting the way he should have been doing, he wouldn't have had to have made that bullshit statement the other night, because his side of the district would have been, he's been there long enough to where he should have had positive influence to where, hey, I'm protecting this community. I'm protecting these citizens. But no. Ron French is over at the highway department, for whatever reason. That will come to light soon.
So Christopher Kilby says the South plant is worth a fortune because of the power alone. And we talked about that a few weeks ago, how it's a plug and play for an AI data center or R&D test lab development type stuff like that, a multi-use land piece of property. He also goes on to say that every single piece of the property that Alcoa Inc. owns as Alcoa Business Park is for sale. All 10 of them. We went into great detail on that as well. Mm-hmm. And then the high electricity consumption, much like a data center, the South plant has straight power line. I don't know what happened. Let's see, straight power line. Hang on. Stupid computer.
They'd have a problem with the water
connection to Brookfield Hydro Dams, Little Tennessee River. He said he worked there 16 years. He guarantees that multiple party interests in the South plant, and it's all about the money, is what Keith Dunaway says. All those things are true, and I appreciate you reiterating all those things, Mr. Kilby, because we went over those things in detail on this podcast. For those very things. I think I went back and redid the show. When I did my op-ed, it shows there's two places in the timestamp where we talked about it hypothetically in the very beginning, just as a joke. And then it turned into a rumor. The commissioners were telling us we were creating rumors, and then they made a resolution. And I'm not sure where that thing went on to yet, or if it's just still floating out there.
While we're on this end of it,
go ahead.
Was it Darren Bledsoe that spoke out and said he had called the planning guy at Alcoa?
Yeah.
And I remember him posting this on Facebook. We may even have talked about it, but he said that there ain't nothing happens without that guy knowing. He'd been there 30 years, and that he has not heard nothing about an AI data center going in at the South plant. So now we got a question. Was the threat of an AI data center even real? If it was, you would think that they would smoke a measly county $20 million offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the limit on a resource like that? That's it's just AI data center ready. You know?
Right. So I could tell you this: the price tag cash is $100 million. And Christopher goes on to talk about Mr. Kilby that both former smelters are now Bitcoin mining facilities, Rockdale, Texas, and Messina, New York. But the one that they did in Maryland, that was East Alco, they turned into a multi-use place. So what they did was they put the AI data center in the middle of it, but it was a smaller version, and it's a little bit more controlled based on the fact the commission boards there, moratoriums or whatever, and then they built restaurants and shopping malls that went around it, and then on the backside of that, they built residential development, which is exactly what when Robert said maybe they did that because that's what they were looking for. Well, we have talked about all these things hypothetically, maybe could be possible, whatever, and so it's prime property. And here's the last thing: he doesn't have to take the offer. He could say no and go a different direction. And as soon as he says no, then all of these outside interests that are interested in that piece of property that the urgent Brian Daniels was talking about, that probably becomes reality. But right now in this environment in which they communicate in this corporate, whatever it is, it's called a transaction? I think is what it is. It's a term, and maybe I'm wrong on how I'm saying it, but long story short, until Oblinger says no, I mean, he could very well say yes and be done, but he could also say no. So
what about a scenario? What about scenario something like this with that? You know, there again, once Misty started pressing him with questions, unexpected questions, you know, he began to stumble all over his words, and you know, started inserting the fear of, you know, well, we have these other bidders here, you know, blah 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 blah. Well, so let's just say that they know that there's not other interests, or just, you know, and but we're going to drive up the cost by saying that there is, and then we broker a nice deal where we all, you know, the IDB, Oplinger, all the players involved,
Blount partnership,
get their little cut from it, because they generated to the point to where they made it sound like this was such a prized piece of property. Don't get me wrong, it is for the right thing.
Yeah.
But due to the lack of transparency and the lack of trust that they have now created, you can't help but to think in those ways. Is this a deal that they're embellishing on purpose to generate profit? You know, for themselves that are involved.
Oh, I can't. I want to say yes, but I can't prove it.
And again, taxpayer money. What's the benefit to the taxpayer? Now, I've asked that on Facebook. I got a response that was your typical run around, a lot of words, not saying shit. I asked the same question in the YouTube chat during the live commission meeting, and I kept having 2 or 3 different people. One guy said the same thing twice: tax revenue. How do I benefit from tax revenue? Is our taxes going to come down? Because, I mean, for some years, I've heard that over and over again. If we do this, it's going to give a tax break to the citizens. Where's the tax break at?
Mm-hmm.
Is it in the room with us? Because I don't think I've seen it.
That's funny. Yeah.
If anybody can give us an example, please do. That way we can be factual on what we're saying.
Yeah.
But where does the tax breaks come from? When do they come?
Right.
Well,
you know,
that's going to come in the form of your biannual property tax assessments. Keep that in mind.
Oh God. So
I think somebody did say it was going to be a property tax break.
True. Kathy William Birch says it's $6 million in land, $5 million in cash for road purchase for PPE, plus the $32 million from our 4 local road projects that were canceled, and the funding stolen. That's $43 million. And then Kilby goes on to say that the West plant, that's now the Springbrook development, was a little different from a Brown site standpoint. The South plant was definitely used for hazardous material, required constant testing, etc. Now, there was two gentlemen that spoke up in that meeting on Thursday that talked about they were present and involved in those types of things right there. You know what I mean? And that just kind of went right over the head. You know what I mean?
It did. There ain't a damn person sitting up there heard that. They was all looking down at the floor.
Yeah.
Well, and they were acting. They were acting as whistleblowers.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and still not taken serious.
Right. No.
At all.
No.
It's just complete negligence.
What's that, Jason?
You got to kind of wonder if they even know what asbestos is.
I do.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There was nothing on their faces. It was just.
It sounds like there's a lot more dangerous stuff than asbestos that's out there in the ground.
Yeah.
With their nice little TDE,
like Kim said,
TDEC study. As long as they don't take it off site,
right,
and they just pave right over it.
That's what Kim just said.
All it is a little bit of gas, fuel, hydrocarbons just on top of the ground. That's all we found.
And then back to voting, Ed said that last time he voted was the class president Heritage High School, and it was fixed. And so are all elections. And Scrappy Dog says Barong's been pushing for a new jail for years. I'm trying to catch up to the ones that are on Rumble. Just ask the owners of Foothills Market and the new owner of Woody's Market, because we're talking about those developments. Okay, so now that that's been brought back up real quickly, those developments, they passed all their stages of approvals and stuff like that. Do you guys realize that? So it doesn't go back before a commission to make sure that it's approved. They only have to make sure that they get their permits right and legal, then they get stamped. And so they're primed for doing whatever. And so I did this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I did this little study on the growth in Blount County, and the highest growth in Blount County is District 6 and 7, which is let me see if I can't find it. Board meetings. Okay, right here. Let's see.
While he's doing that, while we're talking about Alcoa, I'll tell you something that happened to me just I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know. I had gone to lunch over there at Flatback Jack's or whatever it's called, and it was kind of newer, and I just happened to have my dump trailer with me, and they were out there digging a new site right at the end of the parking lot for Kickback Jack's. And so I went over and asked, and I knew that ground was contaminated. I knew this years ago. Anyways, so I asked them if I could get some of that dirt, and they straight up told me that they could not give that dirt away. They couldn't do anything with it because it's under remediation, and they're having special trucks coming in and hauling dirt off. Now, all while patrons are coming to these various restaurants and everything else, they're out there disturbing the dirt in the heat, dusty, everything else, but they're having special trucks coming in to haul the dirt off because it's under remediation. Does that make sense? I mean, you know, that whole development's on top of a Superfund site.
Wow.
You know? And it's going to be the same way with this other property.
Oh, yeah.
So Kilby says he thinks if the county ponies up the money and they have controlling factor over selecting the new buyer, then we buy it, because it will absolutely sell to someone and they'll put something we won't like on it. But only if we have controlling decision in saying yes or no as a county commission. Well, here's this part. because that piece of property is owned by the city of Alcoa. The only thing that we get off of it would be tax revenue, if I understand that correctly, right? Based on how they sold the property up. And he's correct in fact that if we don't purchase the property, then it could be sold to something, obviously, that what we didn't want there. But I think in the end, overall, it's just the tax revenue that we get on it. Alcoa actually has all control over everything, zoning, policing, and all that. County has nothing in it other than that they use taxpayers' dollars to pay for it, and we don't get that back.
No.
Like Robert said, since we ponied up the $8 million, if this all works out in that right, so then, should we get tax breaks at every little store and restaurant that's put in there, we can show that we're a county, a citizen of the county, and we already fit the bill for this to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you just tax, anybody that's not local or that's out of state, they pay that revenue. I know that makes way too much sense and probably never going to happen. But do you see what I'm saying?
Man.
So
we'll be laughed at for that idea. What are you thinking?
Right. I mean, what do they do in Alaska? Those people, the gas, the money that's made off gas. There is a stipend that goes to the residents of Alaska that they get. I don't know how that works. I just know people that have lived there for. I guess you got to live there for a certain period of time before you can actually start being a part of that program. But anyway, that's how it works. I just don't understand why we can't make that type of policy work here for us here at home. But back to the to those all those conglomerate cluster developments. It says from here on out, these developments are being evaluated strictly on technical rules. County staff behind the scenes to secure their building permits. The developers just have to satisfy technical checklist, county engineering approval, building commissioners, rubber stamp, and state environmental clearance. For those who are the key, the developers aren't waiting on another public meeting. They're currently running the gauntlet of the technical permitting pipeline. The system is designed so that once the initial exceptions are granted, the public is effectively locked out of the loop. So that the whole, and then you got to remember, once Pellissippi Parkway is going in, or as it's going in the Walmart, that development's going to start heading down towards Wallen and Townsend and all that way. You know what I mean? So
let me throw this little assertion out there around the community of where the potential AI data centers are going to go in at. Let's say if that does happen, or anything else really. That whole area over there is going to become a gentrification project. Whenever you speak to the Hall community, they take great pride in, they reference themselves as the 13 streets. Well, you have that loud buzzing carrying on constantly. It's going to make their property value drop. Well, they're going to clear out of there. Then you go to the Lincoln Road side of things. That community that's back in there behind the rescue squad and whatnot, it's going to do the same thing with that. So it's going to be a gentrification project. They're going to end up building all around that. But what are you going to build around it in your gentrification project? Are you going to put in hotels and restaurants? Because, gee, how aesthetically pleasing is that to, sit and listen. You already put in a bunch of hotels right next to the airport, and still charging a premium. But the whole sale is questionable at best, just due to the contaminated property right on up. It's cradle to grave. It's cradle to grave. From the beginning of whatever this sale is going to be, it's a dirty deal, literally and figuratively. But at the same time, the long-term side of things, that's going to force a gentrification project. Well, it's there again. Look at the taxes that are going to go into that. The tax dollars, they're going to come asking for more money for development over there because this deal is concerning at best.
Yeah. I will say this. My mom passed away a long time ago, and she really thought it would be a good idea to have all that developed around Pellissippi Parkway, where it comes out there on 321. You know, she really thought that maybe a nature style hotel that you could get in with a, you know, fancy little breakfast area in it and all that stuff. You know, my mom, kind of like what Mike Akard said the other night, you know, that his mother really thought that, you know, and he took away his constituents' voices. What do you got to say about that?
Mama.
I already, what I have to say about it, I've already said to Mike on his Facebook page. With a decision like that on his reasoning, I no longer want to be connected with you because that's just dirty.
You know, if I was on the county commission, my mom is the type of person I dare make any decision based on what I think she would want. I mean, I think most of y'all know my mama anyway.
True.
But if I were in that position, she would not want me to do that on her favor. You know what I mean?
I do want to say this about Mike Akard. I highly respect the man. He has done a wonderful job for the most part. He's had some health issues recently, and people don't know to what capacity. It's not my place to say so. But I will say this. Brian Daniels is a rotten son of a bitch.
I didn't see that coming. I was just thinking Mike Akard there for a minute, you know.
Well, Brian Daniels has capitalized on it's obvious. Brian Daniels has capitalized on Mike Akard's failing health, and you go back a year ago and you listen to how punctual and well thought out and spoken Mike was when he was on the Horseshoe to now, and I'm giving you enough context clues to let you know what's going on. And for Brian Daniels and the Blount Partnership and others involved to capitalize on that, I hate it for Mike. I hate it for Mike, and I hate it for Mike's constituents because that's exactly what has happened.
So I just Ed brought up that my mom used to say the word Alcoa because she struggled saying Alcoa. And when he just brought back a memory because she's gone. And like Robert's mom, she would have never allowed me to do. She would have been mad that I used her as an scapegoat.
Absolutely.
To, you know, it took away from the voters. And she would be proud of what we were doing right here. Now, I can say that honestly about my mom. She would think what we were doing was so damn cool and supporting everything, but she couldn't say Alcoa or Alcoa to save her life. And when she'd yell at me and my brother, she'd say both, B-O-F, both you come here. And now she worked at the hospital. She wasn't stupid by any means. It's just that Southern Kentucky upbringing, you know. And we'd have to ask her, how you spell that, Ma? How you spell both? And she'd get madder than hell at us, you know. So, but anyway, this guy Kilby says he's on the planning commission for the city of Townsend, and they're actively working on trying to keep Townsend before all the Pellissippi mess comes. And then it looks like Shannon Kirkland and Tennessee Valley Restoration are talking about, they heard something about wheel taxes, especially since the largest and fastest growth is in District 6 and 7. And I'm just trying to get everybody's comments out. They tried to push the wheel tax before, and we got it on the ballot and voted it down. So we must be vigilant regarding the wheel tax again. Well, again, they know we don't want that stuff. So why should it even be on a resolution or a ballot for a vote to begin with? You know what I mean? So
yeah, stuff that affects us like that, dude. It like Steve Mickle said, put it on a referendum and see what happens. You know?
He's been pretty vocal here lately. You know what I mean? I think he's doing it because he's on his way out the door. So
he's done. He's done.
He's always been in Steve's defense. He's always been vocal and whatnot, but he has taken it to the next level for sure.
He's kind of the black sheep.
He's kind of the black sheep.
You're exactly right, Jason.
Of the group, of that group.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been. It's been fun to watch him. You know what I mean? As he's. I don't know that I've. So that was another thing. They deliberated for what they did for however long. I went through a whole bunch of these meetings. I'm not kidding. Um, people must think I have a boring, lonely life to sit and watch the BZAs and the county commission and the planning commission, the ones they allow us to see on YouTube, and go through them to see who's voting for what, because I was trying to see where these things were approved at prior to them ever making it to these other commission meetings or board meetings or whatever, because I'm really trying to believe that these things are discussed not in these damn meetings. And I never seen them go that long deliberating things as they did the other night, So I'm not trying to say it's an act or script or anything like that, but I'm saying that because we are letting the public know that this is what they should be doing every single damn time, except for the 21 people that stood up there and said something, those that were in their district that said something that represent them on that body of people right there should have took what they said into consideration and voted no. We should have sent way more no's on the $5 million and maybe be 50-50 on the South Plant and that kind of thing. And maybe that's a little closer to being 50-50, but it should have been obviously outnumbered the other direction.
I said in the YouTube comment section that South Plant, it was like a catch-22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? Do you want an AI data center, or do you want to fork up $8 million to stop that? That was basically the weights that were on the scale.
And that's how they should have presented it.
Well, and Steve did. Early in his argument on that.
He changed his vote at the last minute, though, when that commissioner said, "Hey, I talked to this guy, nothing gets by him," and there was never no talk about an AI data center there. And he even said that pissed him off.
Yeah.
Which it did me too. I'm watching live, and it's like a damn football game going on.
Yeah. I'm just, I want to stay on point, but at the same time, it does bring me back to the fact of that room was so emotionally filled.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a low roar constantly that was against both things on the agenda. And, hey, we're just going to pony up. Just going to go ahead and pay it. I think there should be something put in place where if a department or whatever comes to the commission and they make their proposal and it gets rejected, we'll just say 2 times. Don't bring it back in here again. We've told you no. It really, really makes me think of when you see a little 4-year-old kid at the checkout lane at the grocery store that's crying over the candy and toys at the checkout lane. And mom keeps saying no. The boy tries a different argument. No, and then finally mom gives in. So the kid won't make a fool of mom in public. It's exactly what it reminds me of. I mean, it's like they just know to keep going back to the well and until they finally cave and give what they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is not governing at that point. The governing is, we've told you a couple times already, just as a parent has told you a couple times already, don't ask anymore. You're done. It's done. You've presented all of your arguments that we're going to hear. It's a wrap. Go to your room.
So did you guys see the new thing that Kevin had that came out? Let me see if I can get to pull up real quick. Give me 1 second. Right here. By the way, Kevin J. McNeil with that Tennessee Truth, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But he says, Pellissippi Parkway Extension, did you know that on August 29th, 2024, the 3 mayors, Mitchell, Martin, and White, committed $32 million to the PPE project? And then when you pull it up, it says It's got all three. You want me to share it real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll share it real quick. Let's see. Yeah, that right there. Let's see what it does to us here. Oh no, it won't let me add it. You know what that means?
Too many squares.
No, talk for a second. I gotta refresh. I'll be right back.
Oh no.
Y'all know
The
that.
dreaded refresh.
Have y'all read that Robert's Rule? Have y'all read everything about the Robert's Rule?
Yeah, but the question is does the commission go by Robert's Rule or state rules or their own made up rules? Because there's different rules that they can abide by.
Okay,
That's just kind of like the standard.
I read
bet
where it
Scrappy
said,
Dog knows.
I bet he does too. I tried to find out. Oh man, I lost all the chat and Rumble. That sucks. Thank God I went through most of it though. Says anyway that we, the undersigned Representative Alcoa Blount and Maryville, right to express the unwavering commitment to the continued development of Pellissippi Parkway Extension. This crucial regional infrastructure project is designed to divert eastbound I-40 traffic destined for Great Smoky Mountains National Park through the county, thereby reducing congestion in the Knoxville corridor and significantly shortening travel times. They've sold that to us many times.
Oh yeah.
Hitting the critical nature of this project for both the local community and the whole region, and the region as a whole, we are deeply invested in ensuring the right-of-way acquisition process proceeds with the necessary expediency. To that end, we are pleased to inform you that our municipalities are collectively committing and contributing $32 million toward the process, with $3 million of that amount coming directly from Blount County, the city of Alcoa, and the city of Maryville.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we can make that 37 now, huh? So far. Now what was done with that other 32 million?
That's
is there a paper trail for that? Can we actively see where that went? At what year did you say that was?
2024, August 29th.
Yep. So 2 years ago. So hell, we should still have that, shouldn't we?
Where would that paper trail be, since it didn't go before any board or commission to be voted on? Does the mayor have the power to allocate a certain amount of dollars without permission?
Would it? You have to find out where it's going to come from first. Is that coming from the budget? Did they get a loan for it? And that's where the starting line is.
Right. Danny Elson says, "Follow the money."
Yep.
That's right. That's what everybody needs to start doing.
Well, it
comes out of all y'all's pocket. It comes out of everybody's pocket.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to know where it's going?
Right.
Well, that's where the argument for transparency comes in, which we know they're not going to be transparent, and purposely so. It's funny that they have the solution to the problem, but they're also, what's that saying about having to create the solution so you can have the problem, or however
you create the problem because you got the solution.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the root cause here, and I think this is something that's been failed to be seen. Brian Daniels and the Blount partnership are in overdrive in advertising everything Blount County, and of course they're over the tourism board, so everything falls under the tourism umbrella. Well, so they just happen to be they have not let off the throttle on attracting people to the area. And I'll tell you this much: my buddy firsthand saw an advertisement billboard on the interstate in Wyoming or Montana advertising Maryville, Tennessee, Blount Partnership.
Oh, wow.
I've heard
So,
that.
They are generating this problem all while having the solution in the form of building more roadways and highway interstate, all that stuff, because that also generates revenue for them in various ways. So is it the roads and whatnot that is the problem, or is it the density and the continued push to increase the population?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of the argument at the southern border. All these people came in unchecked and everything else, and then all of a sudden, hey, we got to stop this. But we're doing the same thing in Blount County. The same political party. Our gates are open. Come in. We're unchecked.
Yep.
We will let you overburden our whole county. Come on, we're wide open.
Hey, I'm glad you brought up population real quick. I'll just tell you why. Because next Tuesday at 7 o'clock at Maryville Billiards, we're hoping it's overpopulated there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From 7 o'clock, I'm gonna bring the laptop. We're not gonna do a show. We're just gonna pop in live for a minute. It's either just gonna be everybody that's been a part of the podcast over the last few months, or probably possibly more. You know what I mean? Which is what we're hoping for.
Comment section. He's talking about you all.
Yeah, the comment section. Yeah.
Come out and see us.
Yeah. Come out and let's have a cordial conversation. Shoot a game of pool with us, throw some darts. I'm going to have some food with pizza, whatever Maryville Billiards has for us. If you want an adult beverage, you have to buy that yourself, but hopefully there'll be some water or tea or Coke or something like that. You know what I mean? But whatever. But come out. Say hello, meet a few of us. We'll get to meet some of these, there's a few people I haven't met in person. Everybody here I've met many, many, many times over. So, and I've known Robert way back. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's not there. It's all the ones that, like he said, that are in the chat. You know what I mean? Come out. It's no cost to you. It's just a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? Come say hello. Hopefully the merchant.
Fun.
Yeah, have some fun. We don't have to talk politics at all. We can talk dumb shit, honestly.
Yeah.
Turn it into a little war room, so to speak. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, but yeah, come out. I'm bringing my pool stick, and not that I'm all that with the on a pool table, but whatever. We'll figure it out. So,
$100 game.
$100 game. Look, that's Jason. You got to take it up with Jason. So don't come ask Brian about that. But yeah, come hang out with us. Come say hello. Pop in briefly. Shake a hand. Whatever. Hopefully I'll have the couple hats there and a couple shirts so that we can show them off. Hopefully they'll be ready by then. And then the website, I worked on it today. And it's almost ready to go live here soon. And it should be super simple. It's just basically going to show the last two podcasts and maybe some local, I don't know, something that Kevin puts out or some op-ed that I decide to accumulate or whatever, that kind of thing. But yeah, since Matt was talking about population, man, let's overpopulate Maryville Billiards next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. You know what I mean? And, where, it's standing room only, almost like room 430. Come show up at Maryville Billiards next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I promise you, your voice will be heard. We will not vote. We'll not vote yes on anything.
I like it.
You like that? All right. I was trying to throw that out there. Oh, and if the QR code apparently doesn't last very long. My little flyer, I had that QR code. It would take you to Resolute Exposure. So I got an email the other day. It said that the QR code no longer exists. So
there's a bunch of different apps that you can even make them in Microsoft Word.
Huh. That's wild. It was new. It was neat. So I thought it would last until the date that the actual date that the flyer was made for. So, but
Gotcha.
it didn't. So you live and learn. I've never used a QR code before. As a matter of fact, if I'm got a black magic marker and I see a QR code that talks about something I just don't think is right, I'll start drawing on the damn thing so that when you
give it an extra square, it's
you
done.
it messes it up. You can't, won't send you to whatever.
You're the one that's ruining my scratch off ticket.
Yes. Somebody's pulling up porno sites.
I mean, you see the stuff in stores and bathrooms, stuff like that. That's gross, man. Let me just go ahead and do that.
That'd be great. I need to start carrying a pen with me.
Yeah, black magic marker. That's how you fix that shit, dude. Now, I'm sure they're going to come up with a way to figure it out, where you can't do that. Your phone will be able to see through that or some shit like that.
It'll be some sort of special ink.
Danny Elson said Matt Snow was on point because you were talking about the open borders, how the Blount partnership, and then he's hollering he wished he could be there, but he's in Murfreesboro, which is where all them damn developers are coming from. I looked them up. They all started out in some other state like Ohio or something like that. Made their way to Nashville and Murfreesboro and overgrown that with those cluster developments in that area. Yeah. Now they're in Blount County because that dude said in that meeting at the BZA, he was hoping to have 2 or 3 of these things that they managed, not just the one.
That one on Morgan Road and William Blount.
Yeah, they're all different developers though, but they all, and then the Ivy Gray that's on, what is that, 321 headed to Lenore City there on the right across from Pellissippi.
I'm just saying. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that guy. Who was it? They were saying it was a developer from Ohio that was going to do that 62.
Is it, or is it
whatever you call it?
Whichever one is the.
Sorry, he said he likes to have 3 or 4.
That was amazing. I can't wait to clip that shit right there.
Right? Made me jump down.
Yeah, hey. I'm sorry. I'm having to look over my shoulder a little extra right now, and I'm trying to be relaxed atmosphere, And
I was fixing to say, explain yourself after that.
Explain yourself. So, we can agree that we probably beat this dead horse, to the ground. You know what I'm saying? I was glad that I generated all those reels since I couldn't be there. I really did my due diligence to try to show the county that these are the people that stood up. Is it Rob? I don't know. Let me find his video.
Robinson.
Let's play his video. Yeah, real quick. One of the two, anyway. Anyhow, I just, I wanted to show people, I can't always be there since we were,
Are you pulling up that video of Tom Robinson?
I was going to try, but it looks like I don't have it.
As you're doing that,
I know what's going on.
As you're doing that, I want to bring up some old discussion that we've had on here before.
Go ahead.
Particularly about people losing their property along the Pellissippi corridor, and so as we know, what's the new name of Payne Trailer Park?
Is it Kensington?
Kensington.
Yeah. Okay, so you have X number of homes that were or people that were moved out of there due to that. And then Clayton moves basically one of their little showrooms / facilities there on site, and then offers modular homes for sale and rent as well.
You gotta have new homes for that.
Yeah, but if you head on, if as the crow flies, if you follow Pellissippi Parkway, and you head on over to the new section of you head over to Old Knoxville Highway. Right along Pellissippi, right there is Clayton Corporate Headquarters.
Right.
Well,
Brown Hunt Road.
Yep. Then right there off of Cusick, is where they're doing all that major development next to the plant on Cusick. Well, right there on Alcoa Highway, right at that development is another Clayton Homes showroom.
Yeah, there is. Ain't
whatever. You know, from beginning to end of that project. Well, and I think we would all be in agreement to say that Clayton has basically came in and bought up a lot of properties and businesses in Townsend.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, you can't help but to go ahead and throw Blount Partnership's name in there with this. You know, as far as the connection, the cohesiveness that allows for this type of, stuff to be brought forward to get it passed. It's pretty amazing that all down that corridor, there's Clayton representation all the way down.
Yep.
Well, they want to make it as easy as possible for the people to find new homes.
I found a video. Here's the video. Let me see. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pull this off to the side so everybody can see it. Anyway, look, it's got 3,700 likes and 378 shares, and this is the week that the following week where Nick Bright was the chair. So we'll play this one, and then I'll dig the other one up. You ready?
Your name and your district. I'll remind you have 3 minutes.
He's such a
Tom Robinson. I own Bowman Farms. I live in West Maryville and own Bowman Farms, a Tennessee Century Farm slated to be taken by the Pellissippi Parkway Extension. My attorney has asked me not to speak tonight, but that's no fun. Ed Mitchell, I'm trying to figure out why we would tax people, this young man right here, people who live in Blount County, $5 million. In exchange for $32 million worth of canceled projects. $5 million for $32 million. You think that's stupid? I know stupid because I know what's across from me in Pellissippi Place. I spoke to this commission in 2002. In 2005, they finalized Pellissippi Place. Fred Forster, his staff, Fred was a good man. It was a horrific decision. And I stand before you tonight, a wealthy man, just like I was in 2002, and I'm interested in buying from you, Brian Daniels, the Pronova building. Here are $2 for the Pronova building, and you can double your money on the dollar you paid them.
Direct your comments toward the commission. You don't know.
I'm telling you right now, October 20th, 2011, Brian Daniels stood right here and said local tax dollars would not be used for the Pellissippi Parkway extension. He stood right here in 2011. Tonight he walks in at 4:47 when the lady's setting up the camera, and Mike Kaler is right there. And you know what he does? He says, "How does it look? How's it looking?" And you know what Mike Kaler does? He goes like this. I don't know what they're talking about. A golf game? Yes, sir. You were sitting right there. Don't tell me you were. I was sitting right there.
Direct your comments to the chair.
I'll direct my comments to the chair. I'll tell you this. I only have 30 seconds. I know what bad business looks like. I saw it in the zoning commission. I don't want to hear any of you who say you're a conservative Republican bitch and moan about Somalians in Minnesota when we do business just like they do. Just like it. Quit acting like you're conservative and do business the right way. Represent the people, represent our interests, and quit being phony.
Very good.
Can't argue with that, can you?
Hey, I wish y'all would have seen what he mouthed to Brian Daniels as he was walking back to his seat. I was sitting directly at the end of the aisle and saw it, and I'm like, I mean, I'm telling you, I thought it was going to come to fisticuffs. I was hoping for it, and he had some words straight to Brian Daniels' face. It was beautiful.
Nice.
What were the commissioners doing? Well, were they looking at him or were they staring at the walls?
I'll be
did they
honest with you,
care?
there wasn't a commissioner in the room at that point in my eyes. I was watching this dude. I was,
Okay.
like I said, I was waiting for it to pop off, you know. So I'll be honest with you, I was watching the law enforcement officers, and I was watching Mr. Robinson, and because I thought it was going to escalate to something of greater interest. So, but anyways, it was and that being said, there again, you know, here's this guy losing a century farm over special interest to move the pile of dog shit from one side of the yard to the other. You know.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't get my dumb camera to work.
Operator error.
It's not operator error. It's,
I think the computer trolls left my computer and came to yours.
So in the middle of that, this thing blacked out and then turned back on real quick. Like, I don't know if you caught it. Did you see that? Did it, like it paused? But whatever it's doing, it's not letting me.
Yeah, it's the PC gremlins. Maybe we need to hang bells on our PCs like they do on Harleys, on bikes, to keep the gremlins away. Quit messing stuff up.
All right, so I found this one from. Oh shit!
So is the Parkway supposed to come right at their Payne's Mobile Home Park and just on to 321 right there?
Part of it.
Yeah. Everything that I've heard over the years, yes. And you know, there's been variations over the years, and it has always been that it's going to affect that area. Don't know how far, you know, to one side or the other of Payne Trailer Park, but I know that in its inception of this idea, when it was brought forth to the public, if I remember correctly, there was going to be 48 homes taken out of Payne Trailer Park, along with some houses that set close to Davis Ford Road and whatnot. That being said, I think it's wild how they have built some very nice houses right in where it's proposed, where the interstate's going to come through. I mean, some very nice houses. Either some people have some inside information and know what they're going to do, or realtors misguided them and didn't do their due diligence to let them know that there's going to be an interstate coming through there. So, and then there's some houses that are going to be taken out over on Wildwood Road area and whatnot. So, you know, they're not going to let the actual number of homes that are going to be affected or taken out into light until it's time to move them out. I just now had you know, right there on 411, that beautiful farm on the straightaway on 411 where that sign has been there for years, Stop Pellissippi Place. Robert and I went to school with the guy. I don't know if Robert knows him or not, but his name's Brad Reagan. And,
I believe so. I think I remember him.
Yeah, he's a year or two younger than us. Well, that's his family farm, and he has been blessed for the last several years to live in his grandmother's house. It's the one that has the beautiful red barn behind it, and just I guess about 2 weeks ago now, he was told to get his stuff out of the house. So there's something about to happen. That being said, I also stopped in on the opposite side of the road, his other family member, I stopped in there to ask him if I could put my digital message board right there next to the Stop Pellissippi Place sign that's been there for decades. And she said, I like what you're doing, blah 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 blah. She said, but I'm just over the politics now. It's a done deal, and I just don't want to be affiliated with it anymore. She said, in fact, they just sold that property to some developers. Talking about the property across the road from her on Brad's side, they just now sold that property to some developers, and so hence Brad getting pushed out of his house. Now, this is the property for better understanding of where this exact property is. If you know where the field is, where the sunflowers are, where everybody goes and takes pictures with the mountain backdrop in it, it's that property. It's across Nina Delosier Road, that big, wide open, beautiful farm right there. Wow. So, yeah. So that being said, do these developers know that interstate's going to run right through there? Are they banking on that, knowing that they're going to be able to show a loss? Are they going to stand back and wait for the government to come to them and so they can get their property bought from them?
You would think the county would go ahead and stop that to save money. Like, no, you can't build there. We're fixing to build an interstate through here. Why are you doing that? I mean, that should be a thing.
There again, in a perfect ethical and moral world, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely. So, that being said, be ready for slowdowns on 411 right there, because they're going to have to bring in all the utilities and stuff, And that stretch of road right there already is inundated with traffic accidents.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be real nice going through there.
I mean, I can't imagine how many businesses, gas stations, whatever, are licking their lips just waiting for that extension to be finished so they can start branching off of it at every exit.
Yep.
You guys still hear me?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's Brian. Brian's still good.
Yeah. Well, Frankie says it's the best I've looked in years.
And like what you're saying, Jason, it starts with a gas station at the exit, at every exit.
Oh yeah.
Then another gas station.
Then there'll be a Target, and I guarantee you'll be a Walmart.
Yeah, that eventually, you got a restaurant here and there, and then maybe some hotels, motels.
Well, they've already done the Walmart. They've already done the Walmart.
Walmart's ready.
Yeah,
there'll be $4 or $5 generals.
Oh yeah,
there'll be one at every exit. You can't never have too many Dollar Generals, man.
No,
I already got. They plant them like a little seed. They just sprout up.
So I have 3 that are a mile to maybe a mile and a quarter away from me in any direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, hey, this is my incognito look. So people, I hide behind Resolute Exposure. I guess that's what's happening tonight.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's crazy. It won't let me share the other video, so I stopped it. And it won't let me turn my camera on. I don't know why. Like I said, when I played the other video, it turned off and turned on real quick, like a power surge. I don't know if it was the house, but it's protected. But for whatever reason, I'm going to have a good talk with my camera once the show's over with. But, hey, how do you guys like the time slot? And, hey, by the way, all that are listening in the chat, hit the like button. Hit that thumbs up, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble. I'm horrid for likes, but it's what moves things. It's what it moves things, and so pretty sure you can't get herpes doing that.
Hey, don't let it be known that you'll whore yourself out. Brian Daniels will recruit you.
Oh man, that's not the type of
herpes.
That's not the type of situation I was looking for. Yeah, sure. That was a wrong road. Wrong road. That's why I got this mask on my face at the moment. So, but do you like the new time? 8:00?
You racist.
I'm racist.
Yeah, you're doing blackface right now. Well, I guess it's white circle.
Yeah. It's mixed.
But the reason I was asking where Pellissippi was ending is because I hope whoever ties that in is not the same person that did the intersection over here on my end town, up here where National Fitness is, right there where everybody comes in at 3 different lanes are trying to tie in.
Oh yeah,
civil engineer designed that, by the way.
Everybody's trying to get to the left, everybody's trying to get to the right. And nobody let nobody over.
It's like that at any inner damn section you come to, man.
Oh yeah.
I got to travel from Topside to 411 and back every day, and it don't matter which way you go, which route you take, they're all screwed, and everybody's trying to run your ass over. Either you're running 10, 15 over the speed limit, or you got people trying to push you.
Yeah. I hate that I ain't working no more, but I am so thankful that I ain't working no more.
Right. Especially right there coming by the mall, people will come out in that turn lane for the mall and hold it wide open, pass everybody, cut right back in at the last minute.
Gentlemen, I got to hop off here.
That's cool. We're fixing to slow it down anyway, so.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate what y'all are doing for our county. And y'all be safe.
We'll see you Matthew Snow, Highway Superintendent write-in.
That's right. Hey, if y'all want change, write the name in. I can't take the seat, but our overwhelming response at the voting polls, our voices will be heard. I guarantee it. There's some things in the works. Our voices will be heard.
10-4, brother. Have a good one.
All right, y'all as well. Thank you.
Hey, see you Tuesday, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep.
Bye.
Later.
Did it let me kick him?
Looks like it.
Well, let me turn my camera on. No, it won't let me turn my damn camera on. That's wild, man. That is wild.
It is. They act like these computers are perfect, and they just are not.
So up in my browser, when I try to turn my camera on, the camera thing up here blinks.
Oh, have you clicked on that? You got to allow permission.
I've clicked on it. It says, yeah.
I didn't know we could toggle the visibility.
We can toggle
we cut Brian it.
Look, is that you doing that? Look at that.
Yeah, I can't do that. It must be whoever's first in line.
Jason did that?
It's that little eyeball. And each little square has got the microphone and the camera and the eyeball.
Well, turn my camera on.
I tried.
Oh, okay. Hell, you popped me in and out. You took me out and put me back in, so.
I'm trying to hit your microphone. Nothing will.
Look, see, now I'm gone again. What'd you do to me? I don't know how you got control of this, Jason. That's weird. Don't touch anything. That is weird, Robert. I don't know how the hell. Hang on 1 second. Let me do this. Maybe this is why.
That's
funny. He says he's the moderator. Hang on. Let's remove his moderator. Now let's see what you got.
That's gone now. I can't do it.
Let's see if I can turn me on. Nope, still can't do that. That was funny. So I made you a moderator and you can do that. All right. You learned something new. So I got to have it all together. I see Richard's in there. We ain't seen him in a while. So let's see. All right. So what do you think? Time 8 o'clock work for you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had lots of views, lots of comments, 63 comments. If we get as many likes, let's see. It says we got 20 reactions. We had, you know, yeah. If we had as many reactions as we did comments, that would be great.
Right.
You know, but we don't talk about it enough. But yeah. Anyway, what do you guys say we call it an evening?
That sounds like a plan to me.
That's funny because it's 10 to 10, and usually it's almost 11 o'clock. So, again, guys, next Tuesday, 7 o'clock at Maryville Billiards. Bring your pool stick. You know, let's have some fun, man. And I don't know. You guys can come heckle me. Hell, I don't care. Robert's gone.
Did he do that?
I didn't do that. We got we definitely got issues. Something's going wrong, huh? All right, brother. I will see you Tuesday if I don't talk to you before then.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jason.
All right.
Bye. Robert ever make it back on here? He did not. Well, folks, this is the face you got this evening, at least for the last 20 minutes anyway. I guess I had to figure out what happened and get back to you. But anyway, it was a good show. Thank you for all the interaction, and like seeing a lot of people in the chat. Look here. Robert just said his stuff turned off. Just turned off by itself. The whole computer shut down. See y'all Tuesday, folks. Have a good evening. It's kind of what happened to me a little while ago. Better get it fixed by Thursday. Don't you worry, Scrappy. So Thursday at 7:45 be me, Scrappy Dog, and Heath Bettig. We're going to talk about Robert's Rules and the bar in our little deep dive of civics that we've been going through over the last few weeks. And so hopefully we see you guys there in the chat. Look, there's James. I'm kind of over texting and speaking up on feels like I'm talking to myself. Oh, everybody feels the same, buddy. So anyway, Kim, Scrappy Dog, Reno, Robert, James, Danny. Let's see, Kathy, Frankie, Christopher, Kilby. Let's see, Tennessee Valley Restoration, Daryl Monday, Shannon, to everybody. Jeff Whitehead, appreciate you all. See you Tuesday. Have a good evening.
My heart, pumping all day long. Get me the morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. It takes so long to mend. It's harder to lean on this shell of a man. You found love in the Lord, your family and your friends. Could you please pray for me that I can find the same within? My heart, pumping on I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna head on home before it gets too late. I turn it upside down and be thankful for what he gave. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna hold on tight to you when it gets rough. I'm gonna lay down all my cards and call your bluff. Because the one thing in this moonlit room I trust is the beauty of your smile and the warmth inside your touch. Oh, there's nothing like a love, nothing like a love of a woman. The way she holds you tight, way she holds you tight when you need it most. It gives you just that little bit, just to keep on living. And that's when you find out what you're made of. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna head on home before it gets too late. I turn it upside down and be thankful for what he gave. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna hold on tight to you when it gets rough. I'm gonna lay down all my cards and call your bluff. Because the one thing in this moonlit room I trust is the beauty of your smile and the warmth inside your touch. Oh, there's nothing like love, nothing like love of a woman. The way she holds you tight, way she holds you tight when you need it most. It gives you just that little bit, just to keep on living. And that's when you find out what you're made of. That's when you find Wind is always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own. Life, it isn't always grand, but when you finally take that stand, you become a man. You needed to become. You meant everything to me. While you left, I could not see. I guess people just do what they want. Time, it goes faster every day, and my heart, it leads the way, while the future, it fades into a memory. Oh, is always strapped with these things that I call my